Hey guys, Broke-Dad here. Today I'm going to show you how to make a hanging garden so you can enjoy herbs and decorate an empty space with flowers all year long. Stay tuned. I started by measuring the width of the kitchen window where I was going to hang this piece. Measure the boards and mark where you're going to cut with a straight edge. I cut 2 lengths of pine for this project as I only wanted to have 2 tiers of garden. Use non-pressure treated or chemical treated woods for this project. Place the board on a flat surface and cut at the marks. If you're not comfortable with holding the piece down, use clamps to secure it. You can make this cut with a hand saw, table saw, miter saw, or a circular saw like this one. Give the boards a quick sanding. The smoother you want the piece, the higher the grit level sandpaper you need to use. Lay the ruler out next to the board and determine how many pots you want to have per level of garden. Using the ruler, mark the center of each circle. I found this old bit that was about the right size of the circles I wanted, so I used that to trace. If you can't find anything that is the right size, make a template or use a string nailed to the center of the circle to make your line. To cut these circles, you will need to make a space for a jigsaw blade to fit. Using a drill bit, make several holes along the inside of the marked circle. This will allow you to turn the saw within the tight spaces without binding up the blade. Now clamp the piece down onto a sturdy surface, set the blade into one of the pilot holes you drilled, and follow the circle outline. Most importantly, always be aware of your body parts and the blade's location. Secondly, try to cut on the inside of the line that you've marked. That way it's easier to take any of the wood away at a later time. Now repeat these steps for each planter that you wish to set up. Now sand the inside of each circle that you made. This way it prevents splintering, and it will allow it to take paint and stain better. You will need to decide if you want to hang this with a chain or a rope. I went with rope that can hold up to 50 pounds. You have a few choices for hanging. You can screw a hook into the board and attach your chain or rope to it, or you can drill holes for the ropes to go through. Here I used a cabinet hardware jig to make the holes equal on all sides. Clamp the piece down and use a drill bit that is bigger than the radius of the rope that you are using so that you can easily slide the rope through. Now take the paint or stain of your choosing and apply it. For this I went with a simple white paint and primer. The white was meant to make the piece feel warmer and less eye-drawing when hanging in the window. Simply open the can, stir the contents, and apply with a bristle or foam brush. I like to paint in the direction of the grain when possible. Don't forget to paint the insides of the cutout circles, the sides, and the bottom of each tier. Let the paint dry completely before applying several more coats. Because this piece will be exposed to sun and water, I applied 3 coats of paint. Lightly sand the boards with higher grit sandpaper. Do not use an electric sander or you risk taking off all the paint layers you just applied. And try not to apply much pressure when sanding here. You're just trying to smooth out the surface for the sealing application. To seal this, I used WinMax water-based polyacrylic. Using a foam brush, apply the acrylic in long, even strokes. Try to apply even pressure and don't overcorrect. You should apply several coats of acrylic to the piece to afford it the protection needed. If you get lots of bubbles in the finish, you can always lightly sand and apply another coat. In order to hang this safely, I used a drywall anchor and matched a metal loop with threads. Start by marking the locations of the hanging mounts with a pencil. Use the board and mark with the already drilled holes. Now match a drill bit to the approximate size of the drywall anchor. Drill a pilot hole and gently hammer the anchors into place. If you want to completely hide the anchors, you can always paint over them or add some drywall. Take the metal hooks and screw them into the drywall anchors. If you're using rope, cut 4 separate pieces that are longer than needed. Tie the rope to the metal loops and gently pull down on the rope to tighten the knots. To assist with getting the rope through the holes, I taped the ends. Slide the rope through each hole on the top board. You will need to have some help for this next part. Set the level onto the board and hold it level while your better half ties knots to the bottom of the board. The knots allow you to make slight adjustments by pulling on them once everything has settled. Once you are satisfied with the first tier's location, add the next. You can get as creative as you want with tying off the last portion of the rope, or you can just cut the excess off. To prevent the soil from falling out of the pots, I took pieces of garden bed liner and cut circles and set them inside the bottom of each pot. Now you can add soil and seeds. This is a great way to use the empty space in a kitchen window for growing herbs all year round. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode of Broke Dad. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and I want to thank you for watching.